All right, we are live. Welcome to my one viewer. Welcome to the show. It is another Sunday night chill stream. Uh, Looks like Sunday's working out to be. No, wait, today's Monday. Fuck, I forgot what day it was. Look how good I am. I literally forgot what day it was. Uh, it's it's Memorial Day, and I got back late from Connecticut on last night. I forgot about that. Jesus Christ. And then I got up early today and I did a whole bunch of stuff. And I was lifting and cleaning and cooking and doing like all kinds of like ridiculously uh, active stuff. And today was a gorgeous day. I wish I was doing something else other than well, not lifting. I was happy with that. But anyway, two viewers now. Woohoo! Big numbers. Jonathan Pohl is going to Kazakhstan or Kyrgyzstan or Tajikistan or some other stand. One of the stands, one of those places in the map where you probably don't want to really be. And so I'm assuming his entire audience, all 22 live chat persons, will come here because they I don't know, some inexplicable reason. Anyway. Welcome to the show, guys. Make sure to smash up that like button and watch until the end because we have tons and tons of exciting stuff to talk about and exclusive content you won't see anywhere else. Anyway, thanks for showing up. Okay, so title of tonight's stream, The Flying Lizards, which was like a band from Sweden, I think, or like somewhere in some Scandinavian band like in the 1970s. And they had a song called "Money." It was this kooky. There's a video I just watched it not too long ago. It's a really terrible Scandinavian video. There's only I think two people in the band. There's the female singer and then a guitar guy. And there's a yellow Skoda or Saab or something that's driving around crashing into things all over the video. And the woman just says, "The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I want money." So money's the overarching theme of everything right now. Money rules the world. And if you don't understand that, you're going to be lost. And there was a couple of things. There was somebody was talking about Vladimir Lenin apparently had two strokes, not one, but two strokes after being shot. I don't know, 1922 or 1923, because I think he croaked in 1924. And they're like, well, and let me explain. Getting shot does not cause strokes. And the people who discuss this, and they think of themselves as high IQ people who understand the world and history and whatever. They don't understand like anything. Getting shot does not cause a stroke, right? What causes a stroke is a restriction in the blood vessels that go into your brain, okay, which starts from a tiny iron deposit of iron somewhere in the artery, and then bacteria clings onto that, and the bacteria grows and grows and grows and swells and swells and swells. And what it does is it swells the outside of the artery, and the inside of the artery narrows until there's no more blood going in there. And then, of course, your brain gets starved for blood. Boom, out you go. And brain tissue dies. I've had heart attacks. I've never had a stroke, but I've met a lot of stroke people. And believe me, you don't want a stroke. So, but these people who think they're smart, they can understand politics and history and everything else, will actually ask, well, did getting a near fatal case of lead poisoning have strokes? No, you dumb, stupid cocksuckers. You have no idea. Please be quiet. The 13 to 20-year-old set that seems to want to discuss this, and I see this on Twitter and a couple of people have noticed that most of the people discussing these sort of events are like 13 to 20-year-old dorks who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, living in their parents' house, and they have ridiculous opinions, and they are not worth engaging with in any way, shape, or form. But that's most people right now. an enormous number of people are not worth engaging in because they're not doing anything constructive, and they have these luxury sort of opinions. They're in a position in life where they can choose to believe this or they can choose to believe that, and it doesn't really make a difference either way because none of that's ever going to be tested. None of it's ever going to be, put under stress, and so they can afford to believe really stupid shit. But they exist based off the efforts of others, off the value created by others, whether it's their parents or their grandparents or whoever. And this is not just an individual level. This happens on a corporate level. I was looking at the Z-Man, who's he's not on Twitter anymore, but he's on Gab, and he mentioned that ESPN, the Sports Bowl network. I didn't know this, but he had these stats, and I'm going to assume that his stats are legit. ESPN gets $8 a month, $8 a month from every single cable subscriber in America. So when you wonder why is Sports Bowl woke, why are they doing transgender athletes and microaggressions and all this Sports Bowl wokeness, and the Black Power, NFL stuff, and all the rest, why are they doing that? How can they dare do that? Why aren't they afraid of alienating their ticket-paying audience, their viewing audience? Well, because on cable TV, which I haven't had for years and years, I haven't had it for 12 years or 15 years. I don't know how long. When the last time I saw cable was. But last time I paid for cable was, a few years after 9/11. But if you're getting $8 a month from everyone in America, no matter what you do, you can do whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? That when there's no negative consequence for you spitting in the face or of your audience or degrading what they care about, you just keep doing it. You know what I mean? And as Jonathan Pohl, welcome to the show. I thought you would be winging your way to Kazakhstan or Kyrgyzstan or one of the stands by now. For sure, you would be flying somewhere over the North Pole, whatever, waving hi to Santa Claus or whatever. But I guess you maybe you're checking in from LAX. Maybe you're checking in from the airport. Soon. I'm glad. Good that you have the ability to go back and to see your family. I don't think most of your audience understands that type of nation because they have no commitments to others. You know what I mean? They live the lives of children, and so they have childish ideas and a childish worldview that is untested by reality. And those of us who have to live a lot closer to reality cannot afford their silly delusions. Anyway, up to 3 viewers now. Whoa, I'm really pulling in big numbers now. But so ESPN, $8 a month from every cable subscriber in the United States. Whether you watch ESPN or you don't watch ESPN, well, that's why they're so woke. That's why they can afford all their woke bullshit. And apparently Disney, I can't believe this, but Disney gets $25 billion with a B, $25 billion a year in cable fees alone from the Disney Channel. So you wonder, why is Disney like it's transgender? There's that Finding Nemo. It's the fish who changes genders. So, oh man, Hollywood's going to push that one, right? And it's going to be a cartoon, and it's going to put in front of your children's face. Oh, look, you could be a boy, you could be a girl, you just could be that, depending on whatever. And they can just get that idea in front of people. And how can they do that without negative consequence? The way they can do that is they get $25 billion with a B dollars every year from cable TV subscriptions. So, when there's no negative consequence, especially economically, for you being woke, for having, let's say, minority or fringe opinions, all of a sudden, those opinions seem much less fringe and much less minority because you can do whatever you want to do and you're still getting a paycheck, And as I've noted before and I've said before, the primary weapon of the left or of the oligarchs is financial. You know what I mean? It's the idea of the 50s, 60s, 70s where they were going to send an assassin to shoot you, somebody to sneak up in the dark and, put a garrote around your neck or some shit like that, or some exotic kill method like these kooky drug addicts used to think was going to happen to them. Nobody has to do that anymore. You know what I mean? Not even the David Cole, that Jewish guy who questioned the Auschwitz narrative, and he, I mean, listen, homosexuals are routinely very obnoxious to people, but he ended up getting smashed in the head with a bike lock or something. He got his skull cracked for being one, openly questioning the narrative of Auschwitz, but secondarily just going out in public and being unapologetic. So, but even that's past now. There's sort of this, if you go to an Antifa protest, you might get physically injured, but if you stay away from them, you're not going to get physically hurt. However, if you're active online in social media, this platform, other platforms, and someone can hurt you economically, they can dox you, they can make you lose your job or whatever, they're going to do that. And that's their primary method of control, because it's better than killing someone. It's better by far than killing someone, because you've made their life more difficult and extended the misery, and everyone wants to avoid that. So that is a much more effective method, for all of and this is what everything is being driven by this. So anyway, let's do like a screen share. Let's do a screen share, because again, this is a flex for me. This is my it shows my absolute Gen X dominance over this these sort of technological miracles that we call the internet. Why isn't it not just going up there? Come on now. There we go. Here it is. Do deficits matter anymore? Biden's first budget signals that they don't. President Biden's trillion with the T, $6 trillion. Now, when Bush went out, there was the Troubled Asset Relief Program where he gave $850 billion to Wall Street. And then when Obama came in, he gave them another $875 billion. And in total, it was like $1.5 trillion that Wall Street got to pump up their assets into 2008, 2009. And they became very addicted to trillion-dollar stimulus packages. And post 2009 housing bubble, and too big to fail and all the rest of that, spending trillions, like 1.2, 1.3, 1.5 trillion dollars more than the Treasury takes in, became a regular thing. And it was a thing under every year for Obama. It was a thing every year for Trump. Trump did not stop this train at all. And now, under Biden, I don't think America's income tax collections are greater than 2.8 or 3.1 trillion. So basically, we're spending twice as much money as we take in taxes. And that's this year. And the previous 10 years, we were spending not twice as much, but only maybe 50% as much. You know what I mean? So it's not really what looks like excess today is all relative. It's all relative. So I'm gonna look through a bunch of stuff here, but let's see where things have. No, we'll go back. I'll go back to that. I don't want to do that right now. Things in the last 4 or 5 years have changed. Here's a good example. Here's a very good example. People who you consider much smarter than you and much more successful than you have changed their minds about a number of things. So here's two screenshots from two different news stories from CNBC. There's a man named Ray Dalio. He's a billionaire. And on the story to the left, it says Ray Dalio, founder of the world's largest hedge fund says Bitcoin is a bubble. This was like June 2017, 2017. This was this year. Billionaire Ray Dalio says he owns Bitcoin and its greatest risk is its success, meaning that it's so successful that governments may attack it. Now, I assure you, governments are right now, and Wall Street is attacking Bitcoin. But Ray Dalio, the billionaire, and if you admire people with a lot of money, if you think they're smarter than you, or if you just think they're more connected than you, you see how his attitude has changed 180 degrees in less than 5 years. So should that change your attitude? No, probably not, because you're much smarter than that billionaire dude. And even though no one knows you and no one listens to you, but you're way, way smarter than that guy. And of course, he has no interest in, oh, wait a minute. Oh, where's that one? In the future of money. Where is it? Oh man, I think it didn't come through. Oh, this is very sad. This is very, very sad. I do not have the we'll do this one. When I say things like Bitcoin's on its way to becoming the world's global reserve currency, you think to yourself, well, James, you're a fucking idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. You're sitting in your apartment in New Jersey and you just drive boxes back and forth every day and no one else thinks like you think. But this is Ross. This is a statement from a man named Ross Stevens, who runs who's another billionaire, who runs the NYDIG, which is like a Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin. It's not a Bitcoin ETF, but it's it's sort of a stock. It's a fund you can invest in that is directly linked to Bitcoin. And in the tweet, Ross Stevens says this was recently, it's like within the last week. Saturday, I talked with the heads of three of the largest central banks in the world about U.S. inflation and Bitcoin. I'd guess there's a 50-50 chance of a central bank declaring Bitcoin either legal tender or the reserve currency within the decade. That's Ross Stevens, head of the NYDIG group. So, and he's another billionaire. So, and again, I guess you're smarter than he is. You know more about finance and the future than he does, because you're nobody and you don't have two fucking nickels to rub together. But you got billionaires turning their fucking heads, in completely over Bitcoin. But no. You're going to sit there and you're going to absolutely ignore everything that these people who are, I assure you, very much plugged into. This is the one. This is the other one. Let me see if I can send it. Who are plugged into the future and the future of finance. And we want to talk about. Let me just send this real quick, see if it goes through. When you want to talk about what changes are going to come down the road in the future, everything is driven by finance, whether you like it or not. The Bolshevik Revolution was financed by Jacob Schiff. Jacob Schiff, relative to the Rothschilds, loaned Lev Bronstein or Leon Trotsky $20 million back in 1915, which would probably be the equivalent of $250 million or $300 million today. So it was Wall Street that financed the takeover of Russia, and Wall Street finances everything that's going on today, and particularly the negative stuff, particularly the bad stuff. So there was, where is it? Here we go. Come on, show me. Come on, where's the new? Is this it? No. This is the one I want. This boomer tech stuff, when you're a super slick Gen X guy like I am, very, very frustrating. Super frustrating. No, the tweet, this was this Friday. Share screen. Please bear with me as you hear all this endless clicking of my mouse. So what's coming up on the screen? This is a tweet from a guy named Scott Minerd, Minerd. Scott Minerd, and he runs the Macroscope, which is a 315 billion with a B, $315 billion hedge fund. He tweeted on Friday, right before the holiday weekend. Let's think about this for a minute. Why would the chief investment officer? He tweets. His actual tweet was, "Crypto investors, be warned. Be prepared for a volatile holiday weekend." And then someone followed it up with, "Let's think about this for a minute. Why would the chief investment officer at a firm with $315 billion in assets tweet this on a Friday afternoon before a holiday weekend?" And this is his first tweet in 9 days. Is it because he's generously trying to help you? Well, the answer is obviously no. So you have these billionaire, hundreds of billions of dollars, hedge fund managers tweeting about crypto on the Friday before Memorial Day weekend. Now, why is that? Is it because it's unimportant? Is it because it's beneath your attention? Is it because they're not thinking about it? Wrong. They're thinking about it non-fucking stop. They're obsessed with it, and they're obsessed with controlling the market. They're doing everything under the sun to manipulate the Bitcoin market and the rest of the crypto market. But since Bitcoin itself is 50% or more of the crypto market, they want to control the biggest asset and the most valuable asset, and that's what they're trying to do. So when they tweet to you, "Hey, crypto investors, be prepared for a volatile weekend," that's a flex. That is them getting in your face and saying, "We're going to fuck with you and we're going to take all your shit." Now, what's the problem with that? Well, really not much of a problem, except you're up against lunatics. You're up against Bitcoin people. By the way, we have very little Uzo. There's almost no Uzo here. So this may be a very short stream because I don't have that much alcohol. We may have to end this prematurely. There's almost nothing to drink. So you have billionaire after billionaire, hedge fund manager after hedge fund manager, and they're all focusing on this future thing. And you have the federal government spending 100% more, 90, 100, 110% more in the federal budget than they take in taxes. Now, if you look at it, like I said, from the Bush years, from the Troubled Asset Release Program, TARP program of 2008, and Obama's TARP program of 2009, and all of Obama's budgets, and all of Trump's budgets, and now Biden's budgets, the federal government is spending more money than they ever spent before, and everyone's getting poorer and poorer and poorer. The more money they spend and the more money they print, the poorer you get. You get poorer. People aren't getting richer, they're getting poorer. People still can't pay their rent. This June, when June ends, the nationwide eviction hold is going to end. So everyone that was going to get evicted for not paying their rent because they lost their job or they couldn't go to work because of COVID, you know what? That's going to end. Our landlord's going to throw 10 million people out into the street. Who fucking knows? It's going to be a summer like no other summer. And there's money supposedly to help these people, but they can't actually get it. And what's right around the corner, and I'm telling you, you choose not to see it, but this is what's right around the corner, and there are so many people that they're just squeezing their eyes shut and they're hoping that all the stuff I say is not true, except deep down I think you know that it's true. So this is a great picture. I had a whole bunch of different ones like this, but this one is sufficient to get the point across. This is a picture from Venezuela, right? And what do you see in the picture? You see a chicken on a plate, and then you see stacks and stacks and stacks of bills. That's how much money it takes in Venezuela to buy one uncooked chicken. And you think, well, that's Venezuela. That's not America. Their money's not real money. It's blue. Ours is green. The government would never do that. Really? The government would never do that? The government would never make you wear a mask for a virus that has a 99.7% survival rate? The government would never make you wear a mask for a virus that 85% of the people who have it don't even know they have it? You know, the government that couldn't stop 9/11, the government that couldn't, that, you know, that claims that they want world peace while dropping bombs all over the planet. Yeah, that government, no, they would never lie to you. Oh, heavens, no. You know what I mean? And in no way would they ever fuck up the economy so bad that you would need a stack of bills that big just to buy one chicken. No, that only happens to foreigners. That doesn't happen in America. You know what I mean? And, so the fact that they're spending, twice as much as they're taking in taxes, ostensibly for, what's it for? Is it for fucking infrastructure? Or is it this or is it that? And you have to learn, you really, really, really have to learn to think like the Soviet Union. And I remember it was so crazy when I first, used to read that in the Soviet Union, people used to look at the newspapers and they used to read them backwards, So reading the newspapers backwards is, if the headline in the newspaper was, that the shoe factory had exceeded its quota, early, and that there was an excess number of shoes in the Soviet Union, everyone knew that they were not going to get shoes for another year. Like if they said there was a record wheat harvest, that means, no bread for the next 6 months. Okay. So what's this tweet? I don't know how we can see it. This is a tweet from our buddy, our one and only pal, Richard Spencer. And what is Richard Spencer tweeting about? This was, I can't remember when this, I don't see what it was. It says, don't take investment advice from me, but it's rare that a curve looks this bad. I'd guess Bitcoin will retrace 2020. By August, it'll be around $20,000. Now, Richard Spencer, the fat homosexual, who, if it was not for fucking steroids, would look like fucking Roseanne Barr, right? That fucking cunt, that super fucking fed. Now he's a Bitcoin expert. He's a Nazi. He's a Bitcoin expert. He's a whatever, a philosophy, an Apollonian guy. He's a Dionysian guy, whatever the fuck. So Richard Spencer is now spreading FUD, F-U-D, fear, uncertainty, and doubt about Bitcoin. Really? When the fuck did you become an expert on this, Richie boy? And I got to tell you right now, if I ever met Richard Spencer and we were both of us on the roof of a fucking building, I'd throw that cocksucker off the roof of the building and he would die and I would get away with it. I would fucking go to trial and I would get away with killing this motherfucker. Because one, he deserves to die. And two, whatever, it'd be easy to kill him. And I would absolutely do that. And you can, the NSA can record that and fuck it, I'll kill your boy. And I will absolutely get away with that in court. But now Richard Spencer is spreading FUD. Richard Spencer is all of a sudden a Bitcoin expert, all of a fucking sudden. So you got to understand that billionaires are changing their minds. Wall Street is playing games you cannot begin to comprehend. And now the feds, straight up fucking Fed, and I know Josh Neal watches this fucking channel on occasion, and I don't know, maybe he's friends with Richard Spencer, but Spencer's a fucking Fed. And everyone that's ever been associated with Spencer's gotten hurt except for Spencer. Okay, everyone gets hurt, everyone gets doxxed, everyone loses their job, everyone gets hit in the head with a bike lock, except Richard Spencer, and no one seems to notice that. Like that, everyone gets hit by lightning except him. So now he's a fucking crypto expert. Fuck him. This is literally a reverse indicator. If someone like this is telling you stay away from Bitcoin, it's going to drop to 20K, you should be mortgaging your house, selling a fucking kidney to buy fucking Bitcoin. At some point, even the fucking retards on the extreme right, and they're super fucking retards on the extreme right, you have to understand you've got it completely fucking backwards, and you have no ability to think clearly about anything. And your best bet is to do the of what your fucking instincts are, because your instincts are absolute shit. Okay, here's where we are. This is so fucking sad. This is so sad, but this is what's coming. This is without a doubt what is coming. Look at this, 5 viewers now. Wow, we're really now I feel popular. Where's let me get to okay. Come on, show up, bro. You gotta do the share screen. I'm sorry. I boomer tech from. I'm not even drinking enough to fucking be making these mistakes. Oh. There we go. Here we go. You remember these from the 2016 cycle? This meme. On the left, we have the Virgin Donald Trump. And it says, daughter's husband ran the country. Below that, it says, he has no idea how to run a government. Below that, it says, lost to Joe Biden. Behind his shoulder, it says, filled his administration with people who hate him. Down by his hip, it says, still thinks he won in 2020. Down by his lower left calf, it says, found out about critical race theory from a Tucker segment. And then next to him is the Chad, Ron DeSantis. Above Ron DeSantis' right arm, it says voracious reader. Below that, it says most competent executive in the country. Below that, it says he's a fucking computer. Above his right hand, it says jock and nerd at once, gets stuff done, and took on big tech and won. So that's the meme, right? We're all familiar with that meme, and there it is. Now Donald Trump is the loser in the meme war. The guy who memed himself into the White House is now the chump in the meme, right? And the meme factory is pumping out how Ron DeSantis is going to save us. And we know Ron DeSantis is not going to save us, because Ron DeSantis went to the Wailing Wall in Israel just like everyone else did. And he, it's not physically bending the knee, but it's wearing the yarmulke and putting your hand against that wall that the Romans built to contain the Jews, and I guess crying that Rome failed to contain the people that were originally imprisoned behind that wall, right? But the right wing, well, they're going to come back, and we're going to get, DeSantis is from Florida, and it's a pro-gun state, and it's stand your ground, and he's going to let you sue Mark Zuckerberg, and blah, 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 and this and that, and all of this stuff to jazz up whatever's left of Trump's base or whatever's left of the right wing, whatever the right wing Israel firsters think they can use to get into the White House, to get some access to the federal treasury. What they're going to make Ron DeSantis appear like everything wants and needs. And of course, we know that the very minute that Ron DeSantis gets ensconced, takes the oath in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the only phone calls he's going to answer come from Tel Aviv. We all know that. You know what I mean? Stand your ground law, shall issue gun rights. So that's all going out the window. You know what I mean? Free speech, all going out the window. You know what I mean? BDS, no, you can't have that. He did that on the state level. He'll do it on the federal level. You know what I mean? If you criticize Israel, you will not be able to receive any federal contract or work for any federal contractor. So yeah, you have free speech. Just, you just can't work for the federal government if you say this sort of thing, which we don't like. So, and that's absolutely coming. Will there be enough Republicans or disillusioned leftists to vote for DeSantis in 4 years? Well, maybe. You know what I mean? fucking Biden is doing like the pedo routine in some speech. It was like so bad. He's talking like it's like a 9-year-old girl. He's saying like, "Oh, the barrettes in your hair." And he says, "Oh, you look like you're 19." And he just starts doing his pedo wig out in the middle of a fucking stump speech. And it's like everybody's like, "Oh, we got to pretend we don't see this. We have to pretend we don't see this." Horse respecter. Hey, welcome to the show. Do you think Dickie bangs all those hotties, or is he? No, Richard Spencer's a homosexual. He's a fat homosexual who, without testosterone replacement therapy, would be 200-300 pounds overweight. You know, the reason why he choked his fucking Russian wife and dragged her out of bed when she was pregnant to watch a fucking James Bond movie is because he's a demented homosexual. You know what I mean? He when he was last time he was actually fucking big. He was in Whitefish, Montana. He's supposed to be in the gym. He's not fucking lifting, right? He doesn't have a barbell in his hand. Doesn't have fucking dumbbells. He's not deadlifting. He's not pressing. He's not fucking squatting. You know what I mean? He's not doing fucking chest flies. He's on the fucking cardio machine, and some yenta fucking yells at him, and he fucking runs away. He's a homosexual. You know what I mean? He is a weak, fat homosexual that without massive quantities of alcohol and steroids would look like fucking, I don't know. Again, it would look like Roseanne Barr. You know what I mean? But less concerned. But less. I think Roseanne Barr is a tougher, smarter human being than Richard Spencer. But listen, you guys love your personality, and your fucking radar in your head is so fucking bent. It's so fucked up. You and fucking what's his name? Mephistopheles Ghost. You're in love with this guy. You're in love with this guy. I don't care. You're fucking idiots. Follow him down he's gonna lead you down the fucking garden path, and you're gonna get your fucking head knocked off. You're gonna get clocked and knocked the fuck out. You're never gonna know what's happened, and you deserve that. You know what I mean? You deserve that because you're 12 to 20, you're 13 to 20-year-old fucking retards who live off of mommy and daddy. You know, you have no idea how the fucking world works or why it fucking works. And you really believe like all this stuff, you know, people believe like, yeah, Vladimir Lenin had 2 strokes because in 1924, because he got shot in the chest in 1922. There's no fucking connection between those 2 events, you fucking idiots. And there's no one before or since ever had a stroke because they got fucking shot in the chest. Lead poisoning, if it's not fatal, you recover pretty well from. It doesn't cause further cardiac fucking problems, you dumb cocksuckers. But since you know nothing about fucking medicine, you've never been fucking injured, like I mean, maybe get a paper cut. I don't know. Does your thumb hurt from playing fucking video games? This is the reason why I just shit all over you people is because you're fucking children. And like I said, children should be seen and not fucking heard. Should absolutely be seen and not heard. You know, and all this, like everybody talking about politics that's not talking about incentive, that's not talking about motivation. What are you fucking talking about? Like how are you going to do anything? What is going to change? Like, do you really think they're going to hand you the keys to the U.S. Federal Reserve and go, oh, we're sorry. Here, you guys take over now. You know what I mean? Raise interest rates, issue sound money. Do you really think that's going to fucking happen? Do you think that's going to happen? Or do you think they're going to get the fucking generals together to get whatever Apex meatheads are still under contract from fucking Blackwater or whatever and have them come to your house and fucking kill you? You know what I mean? Whoever the fucking leaders are. How do you think it's going to fucking work? Do you think they're going to voluntarily give up control of the fucking most golden of golden calves ever? America is the greatest goose that ever fucking laid the golden egg in the history of humankind. Greater than Rome, greater than fucking Greece, on orders of fucking magnitude. Do you think they're just going to fucking give that up to you? They're going to go, oh, geez, we're sorry. You made a superior political argument. Here you go. Here's the keys to the Federal Reserve. Are you that fucking stupid? Are you that fucking naive? Listen to me, Sonny boy. Once you leave your fucking bedroom, once you go out in the street, we're going to kick the shit out of you and take all your shit. And that's the people who fucking like you. You're naive fucking dreamers, and you're going to get destroyed. And I don't fucking care. I will spend X amount of fucking time and energy and oxygen trying to point you in the right direction. But this I know. You're weak and stupid, and you are fucking an evolutionary dead end, So good luck to you, boys. Absolutely good luck to you. We're living in. You talk about a narco tyranny. I can't remember the cop's name. There was a cop who made a video, like a TikTok video, mocking LeBron James. Right, LeBron James going, "Oh, you should." Hey, Joshua Deeds. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the show. Cop made fun of LeBron James for, being an expert on dealing with knife-wielding loons. And he made a TikTok video and he got suspended. So a bunch of people started to GoFundMe and they sent the guy like $75,000 for a 10-day police suspension. And so he took some of the money, but a lot of it he donated as well. And, he donated to different, cancer charities. He did cop stuff. Fairly decent guy. Well, guess what? They fired that cop. So a police officer gently mocks on social media a black multimillionaire and loses his job. He didn't call him the N-word. He didn't smash his head against the fucking police car when he was arresting him. He didn't squeeze the fucking handcuffs too fucking tight. You know what I mean? He wasn't excessive force. He wasn't beating on the guy going, stop resisting, stop resisting. He made fun of a black multimillionaire on social media and lost his career. Like a narco tyranny doesn't begin to describe it. So in this environment, there's no winning. Winning is getting out of the way of whatever next fucking horrible thing is going to drop on some poor, unsuspecting bastard. So, and I've said that, listen, all your politics is bullshit. The primary argument of any right winger is, here's what we're going to do. Once we get in power, once people magically give us power because they're so disgusted with the libs or whatever, they're just going to give us fucking power. They're going to give us the military. They're going to give us the whatever legislature, everything. They're going to give us everything. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hit the people we don't like with extreme negative consequences. Yeah, well, okay. Well, everyone says that. I doubt you would do that, but let's say you would do that. Okay, so you really want to hurt the people who suppressed you. All right. How are you going to motivate others to do that work? Because you're not doing that work yourself, right? You're not doing that yourself. You don't have the numbers. So whom do you use and how do you incentivize them? What are you going to give them? All these corrupt cops, all these bad FBI guys, they do have investigational skills. They know how to access the computer networks and stuff. What are you going to do? Take them out and put them up against the wall? Well, who's going to investigate the bad guys? How are you going to find out their names and addresses? You need somebody to do that, and you don't know how to do that because you have no practical skills. So you're going to have to recycle some of these bad guys, right? You can't just have a truth and reconciliation committee where you fucking wipe them all out. You take them out by a fucking ditch and go, all right, here's justice. You're not going to be able to do that because you won't have any police agency to go after the bad guys that you said you were going to punish. So how are you going to incentivize them? You're going to have to recycle much of what already exists. And how are you going to do that? How can you tell the good from the fucking bad? And maybe you can't. Maybe you just say, you know what? Here's the goal we're going to try to hit. And then once we hit that, then we'll think about it afterwards. But the people doing that, the scumbags who will bootlick any fucking power, whatever, the head of the ATF, who took pictures with the fucking burning body, the smoldering bodies of fucking Waco. Joe Biden's going to put this guy in charge of the ATF. I forget what the guy's name is. You may need to actually use people like that. You know what I mean? Maybe you can't throw them away. Well, what do? Do you think they don't know how fucking precarious their situation is? Do you think they're not constantly putting their fucking finger in the air, figuring out which way the fucking wind blows? You don't understand power. You don't understand how to fucking wield it or what you need to fucking do with it. You know what I mean? And the idea that you're going to be able to pull off what Lenin and the fucking what the Bolsheviks pulled off is ridiculous. You know what I mean? You think you're going to be right-wing Bolsheviks? It's profoundly delusional because no one's funding you, and you don't understand. Just offering a negative consequence for those you hate is not enough to get people on your side. Why should I fight for you? All the guys, all the army, the navy, the whatever you want to believe in, the QAnon people is a secret cabal of whatever. You know what I mean? How do you get the fucking sanitation department to pick up the fucking trash? So, like, how do you do that? How do you get strangers to do what you want them to do? The answer is money, and you don't have it, and you don't know how it works. And the people that are in charge of it are the Federal Reserve Corporation. And until that's destroyed, you have nothing. Because the Federal Reserve Corporation has incentives. It can shut off your bank account. It can cut you off from everything. It can make you as poor as I am or fucking poorer, right? Or it can make you as rich as richer than Richard Spencer. So since they have that power of incentive and they use it all the fucking time, right? How are you going to beat those guys? How are you going to beat those guys, right? There's a real competition, and you're not used to competition. Your expectation is you're going to complain loud enough. We're going to say the magic words, or the American population is going to be disgusted enough that they're going to vote for whatever retarded shit you're talking about this fucking week. You know what I mean? And that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. You're not going to be handed the keys to the fucking kingdom. It doesn't work that way. You're going to have to fight for it, and you're going to have to compete with other people who are much better at fighting than you are, and are far less ideologically hobbled to utilizing, let's say, recycled personnel. You're not going to win this. So that's why I'm dismissive of all you fucking people. I just completely fucking dismiss you. You couldn't fucking incentivize. I said this before. Richard Spencer couldn't fucking lead a flea onto a dog. That's how piss poor he is. But that's not his job. His job is to work for the federal government and to lead a bunch of cranky people who may, by some fucking miracle, come up with the right formula to create a populist movement. He's designed to fucking lead you into a canyon and get you all fucking riled. And he does that to the best of his ability. You know what I mean? So now he's a fucking Bitcoin expert. Yeah. All of a sudden he's a crypto guy. Yeah, sure. Okay, Richie boy. But none of you people seem to be able to comprehend this. You can't. I don't know. Your absolute passionate love for pure fucking theory, devoid of all fucking practical, devoid of all practical application, and devoid of all fucking known fucking human interaction, it leaves you really, you're the fucking lotus eaters. You're sitting there, your fucking eyes are rolled up in the back of your head. You're not going to see when they come to take your fucking head off, which is probably for the best. But the rest of us and the people that I'd like to talk to are the people who know, like, listen, there's no way out of this. The best thing we can do is avoid it when the whole fucking superstructure collapses. So, and the reason why I show billionaires changing their mind about Bitcoin, billionaires flipping 180 degrees on Bitcoin, billionaires all of a sudden go, oh yeah, by the way, I own Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Billionaires before the holiday weekend saying, hey, fuck you, crypto guys, we're going to fuck with you over the weekend. Enjoy the volatility. These people are pulling levers of power behind the scenes that you don't understand. Okay. And you can't stop. The only thing you can do is you have to have a belief system that's relatively impervious to the to what other people say and do. You have to be 100% convinced that what you're doing is the right thing. Jonathan Poll's going to go to Kyrgyzstan to go see his wife and kids. You know what? It's 100% the right thing. Does it make the most economic sense? No. Does it benefit him career-wise? No. But it's his wife and kid. So he's incentivized to go see his wife and fucking kid. You know what I mean? Can you quantify that? No, you can't quantify that. But this is what motivates people. This is what drives human behavior for different people at different times, depending on what your circumstances are. And you don't fucking understand that at all. You keep coming up with these fucking ever more complex written fucking explanations of why the fucking sun came up in the east and went down in the west. You know what? At the end of the day, the sun comes up in the fucking east and goes down in the fucking west. All your theorizing and bullshitting about it changes fucking nothing. So you control no incentives. You cannot offer a positive incentive, nor can you offer a negative incentive. Then you're powerless. So I don't want to hear a word you have to say. And it's so liberating to me. It's so blissfully freeing to me. I don't have to think like, holy shit, maybe I'm missing out on something. I know that you're all fucking idiots and you're all fucking retards. And when somebody comes up with, the ability to fucking make something happen, then I'll listen. And when they actually follow through on their on what they promised. Is a perfect example, another Bitcoin example. There's a gas company called Marathon Gas and Oil in the United States, right? And they decided to get into Bitcoin mining. They have the oil companies have a burn off, flare off. When you drill for oil, natural gas sometimes comes up, right? And then you see this around oil fields. You just see like a flame burning on top of a fucking metal tower. That's flare off. They just burn that off. There's all this excess natural gas they don't know what to do with. So Marathon said, we have all these fucking facilities. Instead of burning that gas, just making a fire at night, why don't we take that to use to make electricity, use that electricity to run ASICs, and then we'll mine Bitcoin. We'll mine Bitcoin in a clean, environmentally friendly fashion. So right now in Bitcoin, there's a software upgrade that's happening. It's called all the different mining groups have to signal their agreement to this or not. And so like 98% of them did, but the one that didn't, which most of these guys are in China or Kazakhstan, or where they're around a corner from Jonathan Pol's house in Kyrgyzstan. Marathon Oil is like, no, we're going to mine our own blocks with clean energy, and we're not going to go along with all these this whole fucking global warming thing. And obviously the Bitcoin people, especially the ones I follow on Twitter, everybody went fucking crazy. Everybody went fucking ape shit. And they said, you don't want to do this. You know what I mean? Don't fucking do this. And today, Marathon, which first it mined its own block all by itself, all of a sudden said, you know what, we're switching. We changed our mind. We're just going to go along with everyone else. We're going to be for Taproot, and we're just going to mine blocks. We're going to match the blockchain of every other miner out there. This is consensus rule, right? Rules, not rulers. We all play by the rules. You're incentivized to play by the rules. Marathon thought, well, we're American and we're going to do things differently and we're going to have clean energy, Bitcoin or something. And you know what? Whatever amount of hashing power is over in China or Kyrgyzstan or wherever the fuck it is, right? Said, we don't give a fuck what you do, Marathon Energy. We've been doing this longer than everyone else, and 98% of us are doing it this way, and you can join us or you can get fucked. And Marathon got smart real quick because they want to stay in the Bitcoin game, and they're like, okay, I'm joining in. So consensus, right? It's not really democracy. It's not really communism. It's rules, not rulers. The idea that one central authority can dictate to the rest, that idea is Bitcoin destroys that. You need to comprehend consensus, and you don't. Because it sounds sort of like communism, and it sounds like democracy, and you don't like communism, and you don't like democracy, and those are the meat machine, the flawed human systems that have failed before and are currently failing. Well, what's being born now is very, very different, okay? And it's going to change everything in ways you can't imagine. Now, when you look at, again, the billionaires have changed their mind publicly, or they're fucking with you or whatever. A lot of big people in a lot of important places understand that there's a big change coming. You should be able to read that in a generalized sense and make some smart choices for yourself, okay? As Bitcoin dropped and dropped and dropped, I just fucking bought more and bought more and bought more as much as I fucking could. You know what I mean? Every time I had spare fucking money, I had to buy more, because I'm not thinking about the price this week or this month or fucking next month. I'm thinking about 10 years from now. I'm thinking about the future. And so is Ray Dalio. So is the guy at NYDIG. and even so is Richard Spencer. You know what I mean? Except some people are being relatively honest and straightforward, and other people are being deceptive. You know what I mean? And you need to understand why they're doing that, and that one, you can't trust anybody you don't know, and you surely cannot trust a billionaire because you're not in a billionaire class. But if you were in the billionaire class, you would know they all fight with each other, right? They all fight with each other, and there's no right or wrong. There's no winning or losing. Jeff Bezos lost a contract to Elon Musk, and then Congress decided to just give Jeff Bezos $10 billion with a B, a $10 billion consolation prize. You know, this June, when the rent eviction freeze is up, there may be 10 million Americans homeless this summer. What do you think that's going to do to social stability? What do you think that's going to do crime-wise? What do you think that's going to do? Like, if that happens, you know what I mean? If all these landlords who haven't been paid throw all these people out, what the fuck do you think is going to happen? They're going to do it in June, so it's not going to seem so bad because it's warm weather. Well, what's going to happen in winter? What's going to happen? Right? Who's going to fix this? We all know Joe Biden's not going to build back better. Donald Trump didn't bring back the factory jobs from fucking China. All the enormous bad things are coming, you know. And what do you think Joe Biden's going to do if he sees there's going to be video of little kids fucking starving and freezing and fucking have no fucking food in October, November? You know what I mean? In wherever in the Midwest. What are they going to do? Print more money, print more fucking money. Just throw money at the fucking problem. Almost none of which will actually get to the people who fucking need it, you know? And it's going to be one crisis and one disaster, which means more money printing and more money printing and more money printing and more money printing. And it's never going to fucking end. It's never going to end. So, you know, you're going to look back at $37,000 Bitcoin and go, why didn't I fucking go all in? Because the inevitability of what I just showed, of that picture, a stack of bills this fucking high and a chicken this fucking big, is coming. They're not going to force you to eat bugs because, you know, evil communists are going to stick wires in your fucking brain. There's just going to be no money in your account. You could have a box of crickets, which you could afford, or you can have a fucking chicken, which you can't fucking afford. You know what I mean? You could have either one. They won't say, oh, you have it. You know what I mean? Never say that. Be able to maintain the fucking fiction that that everything, you know, that everything is absolutely wonderful and you're free and, you know, this, you know, America's a land of fucking opportunity and blah, 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 blah. But you will not have enough money for this, right? This is going to be a fucking memory to you, you know? When you see these stories, I go to YouTube about North Korea where they're eating grass soup, you know what I mean? Where North Koreans talk about the only time they get to eat rice is once a year on their birthday, you know? If you think that's not going to happen here, it can't happen here. Well, why can't it happen here? Why can it not happen here? And all of your political talk and all of your whatever is complete nonsense. Until you control the incentives, you control nothing. So, you know, this is it. It's whatever. You want to look at the Bronze Age pervert guy, the Kali Yuga. This is I think that's bullshit, but we're in for a roller coaster ride that's going to end badly. And when what you see on the screen in front of you becomes a reality for a lot of people, you're going to see insane behaviors that make anything you're watching on social media today look tame. Your definition of crazy is going to change. Your definition of scary is going to change permanently, you know, until we get to the other side of this. And I don't know how long or what it's going to take. But I will say this for sure. Bitcoin is going to be part of this. It's going to be the best part of this. The more you have of it, and the more tightly you can hold on to it, the better, because everything else will be run to zero. This is again, it's a chicken with Venezuelan dollars, or I don't know what they call their money. But it is not impossible, and is increasingly likely, this is going to be the future of America. And everything you think you believe, everything you think you love, everything you think you are is going to change when this becomes a reality. You have never been in a competition with other people that as sharply and as fucking viciously as you're going to be when this happens. And will this happen tomorrow? No, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen this month or next year, but it's going to happen. And I strongly advise you prep for it now. And prep is two things, but mostly what it is you have to stop being delusional. You have to stop believing anyone's going to deliver you, or any set of magic words. You can mock the Constitution, but you need to mock everything you believe as well, because whether it's written down or it's not written down, like think of you, whatever your most cherished belief is. Okay, there's that, and then there's you and one other dude fighting over that chicken. Like, what's more important, hanging on to your belief or getting that fucking food to your family, right? All of a sudden, everything you think you believe, everything you think you know, everything you think your life or your philosophy is based on, right out the fucking window when it becomes a competition for resources, right? And the elites are going to be up there, they're going to be looking down, watching you fight like animals. And you can argue that blacks are 85 IQ and Asians are 105 IQ. You can have every stupid argument you want now because you're not hungry enough, okay? But once you get hungry enough, you're not going to remember what the IQ of a East Asian is. You're just going to know that you're bigger and stronger than they are, and you can fucking smash them and take their shit, And if there's some dude named fucking whatever, Cletus, who just got out of fucking Supermax, you know what I mean? And he's been lifting weights for 25 fucking years, and he was a monster to begin with. You're going to want to know to stay away from him. And it's not going to be an IQ thing. It's going to be like, fuck, I can't beat this guy. I cannot outcompete him for resources, so I'm just going to go around him. Everything you think you know, every way you think you understand the world is going to fucking change when life becomes a competition for basic resources. And that's going to happen. Right now, it's happening on the margins, at the edges. You don't see it, and you probably don't know anyone who is experiencing this. But as that fucking tide of fucking misery gets higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, and you can't avoid it anymore, well, you're going to find your philosophy changing like that, because the reality of, what the fuck was Paul saying the other day? Like, Richard Nixon was the first Quaker to bomb North Korea. To me, that's whatever, that may be historically true, but imagining that that's important. Like, so who was the second Quaker to bomb North Korea? Who was the third? Like, who was the fifth Quaker to bomb North Korea? What does that even fucking mean? The Quakers is it. You can tell me, listen, James, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because here's a list of shit Quakers believe. Quakers believe this thing and that thing and the other thing and the other thing and the other thing. And it's nothing what Richard Nixon did. You know why? Because Richard Nixon was a Quaker in name only. He was a Quino, whatever, I don't know what to call it, a QINO, right? When your belief system works for you, right? When the incentives of believing in this thing, behaving in this way, when it works for you, works for you. When it stops working or something else offers a greater incentive, then you drop that belief system. You know what I mean? That's how human beings really are. That's how blah, 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 blah. Well, the reason why is because it was a greater incentive. You know what I mean? And you do not control the incentives. And the people who do, yes, they're as bad as you think they are. They are fucking evil, elitist, alien to our fucking culture. 100% fucking true. But none of that fucking matters, because you're not in a position to fucking take them out and replace them, because you don't control this yet. And what's coming, which is the Bitcoin standard, which is a consensus standard, will be something that is agreed upon by at least 51% of the people. And you're going to find that your ideas and your philosophy not as popular as you think. It may be cool being fringe, being edgy or whatever you think you are, but you're going to find out that most of what you think is garbage and no one fucking cares. And what's going to work is much narrower and smaller and much more practical, much less ideological, much less intellectual. You know what I mean? And you will conform like this. It will be easy for you, because if you don't, you're going to fucking starve. You know what I mean? So, and again, you think, no, I'm high above that. I'm way above that level. Well, maybe you are now, but 15 and 20 years from now, that may not be true, and I don't know how old you are, but 15 to 20 years from now, you may be in a very, very different situation. 15 to 20 years from now, I'll probably be fucking dead. But you consider, like, the city of Detroit in 1924, the wealthiest city in the United States, the wealthiest city in the United States, the highest per capita income of any city in the United States, more skyscrapers in Detroit than in New York City in 1924, 1925, right? By 1955, people were running for their lives. They were, black crime was out of control, not enough fucking police, not enough anything. People just abandoned Detroit for the suburbs until the whole thing, it's just a complete and total cancer. No one in 1925 walking around with fat stacks of $100 bills in an 84% white city that had an advanced industrial base, right? No one could see what was coming 25 years down the road. No way, not possible. But things changed. Big shots like Henry Ford, brought in tons of black workers from the South, you know what I mean, who would work cheaper. He could increase his profit margin. Henry Ford, the famous anti-Semite, he's such a famous anti-Semite, but he wanted to take Ford Motor Company public. So he had to deal with Wall Street. And Wall Street was Jacob Schiff and all his chosen buddies. You know what I mean? So the famous anti-Semite somehow managed to overcome his anti-Semitism. You know why? Because there was an incentive. Because the guy who was already insanely rich wanted to become God-tier wealth. And expecting human beings to be better than their incentives is naive in the extreme. It is naive in the extreme. And what happened? It destroyed an entire city and arguably started the destruction of all of American industry, right? So there are lessons there, but the lessons are not ideological. The lessons are economic. You know what I mean? They're economic and individual. You know what I mean? What is your incentive and why? Why did everyone leave? Because it wasn't worth living there anymore. Fighting, you can't go to sleep at night. Someone's going to crawl in your window and rob you, rape, kill your fucking kids. Fuck that. I'll go live somewhere else. You know what I mean? Because the government's not protecting you. They're not taking care of these fucking people. You defend yourself and you go to fucking jail or prison, and now your wife gets her all on their own. Like, just leave. That's how Detroit fell, and Baltimore and Newark and all other cities and Philly and, Wilmington. Fill in the blank. I can't win in this. I can't win. No one's going to help me. I'll just leave. And if you think Europe isn't going through the same, Europe is going through that. Where Detroit was in the 1950s, that's where Europe is today. All these the migrations, they're bringing in the Africans, they're bringing in the Middle Easterners. They're doing to Europe what they did to America in the 1950s. The explosion of the suburbs was because the cities became unlivable. Judas Fly-Chai, welcome to the show. Your people have much to answer for, my friend. Not you, of course. You are, I'm sure, as gentle as the fly you pretend to be. But what's happening to Europe is what happened to America in the 50s. You know what I mean? There's cities that are being destroyed. When you see Paris, when you see London, when you see Brussels, when you see all this stuff, when you see Marseille, it's ghetto. That happened to Detroit. That happened to Milwaukee. That happened to so many other places because the people in charge, we're not ready for the level of. No, Judas Fly-Chai. I'm not. Listen, I know. I understand you're sorry that your people are evil. It's not you personally. I'm not angry at you, but we have to tell the truth. We have to call it out. that the people who run the show were not willing to do what was necessary to maintain civilization. Why? Because there wasn't a strong enough incentive. There was no negative incentive if they failed, and plenty of positive incentive if they ignored it. And again, no one is above their incentives. So if you view the world that way, you understand people better. You'll have a better predictor of what someone's likely actions are going to be, and you'll be less surprised. Okay, and that'll be a good thing, because you'll be calmer and you'll be more at peace, and you'll understand what you need to do. So that's that. What else do I have? Oh, the Bitcoin card. Did you guys watch the Indy thing? I was surprised that the kid did so well. I didn't know it was his second Indy race. We had the Bitcoin car got front row start, which was pretty impressive. You guys don't know racing, but I used to watch motorcycle racing. Front row start is a big deal. You get there, you get to start the front row, not because of your genetics, not because of your IQ, right? You don't get there. That's not how you get to the front row. You know what I mean? The first row, the first three cars, first three motorcycles, whatever. The front row, you have to earn it. You have to do super fast laps. The top three fastest laps are in the front row. You have to earn it. That kid, Vilnius, VK, whatever the fuck his name was, it was only his second race at Indy, and he got a front row start. So started in third position, finished in eighth position, so he lost 5 spots. There's a lot of stuff happened in the race, but really, I was excited Sunday. I followed out on Twitter. That was fun for me. And what was also even more fun, of course, is because I think for 36 laps, Bitcoin led the race. The Bitcoin car led the race, and the announcers would not call it the Bitcoin car; they would call it the orange and black car. And there was a car that was financed by PNC Bank, which is a northeastern bank chain. They're here in New Jersey, and they had some kind of problem. They had some kind of fuel problem, and their engine wouldn't run anymore. And so they were out of the race early, and everyone was like mocking that and stuff, so that they couldn't afford the gas fees. But you know what? The kid, top 10 finish for his second race in Indy. Good for him. That's a lot bigger accomplishment than you think it is. And it was fun, and it brought a lot of attention to Indianapolis, and it gave us something to distract ourselves with a little bit over the weekend. So I had fun with that. I had a lot of fun with that. But you have to. You must. All right, that's. You gotta have some fun. You gotta have a sense of levity. Where am I? Is this the one? This is one of my favorite memes. Oh yeah, I love this fucking meme. This is the best meme, and I point this out to some people. Right. This meme, the absolute best meme, stuff I used to see when I was a kid. And it's spinning, and it's still not showing up. And it's still not, there we go. There was a guy who actually walked a tightrope across between the two World Trade Centers way back in the day. On the left side of the screen, it says Magic Internet Money. In the center, the man walking the tightrope with the balance pole right there. It says Bitcoin. And our goal is global reserve currency. This is where we are. You know what I mean? We're in that in-between time. We're no longer Magic Internet Money. We're not quite the global reserve currency yet. But that's our goal. And as long as we keep our balance and keep moving ahead, we're going to make this. Okay. And for people that say, again, it's Magic Internet Money. When I tell you I bought Bitcoin in November at 11,700, and now it's 37,000. So if I tell people I made 250% profit in Bitcoin, all of a sudden we go from Magic Internet Money to how come you ain't paying any of this shit in taxes, right? All of a sudden it ain't Magic Internet Money anymore. Tell people what your gains are, and all of a sudden they get their fucking hand out. You know what I mean? So Your worldview, like I said, your worldview will change in the fucking blink of a fucking eye. You know what I mean? And I know this. And you say, and you think again, you think you're above this, and for the moment, perhaps you are. You know, and maybe you'll be above it for the next 5 years, but sooner or later, you won't be above it. You won't be able to go out in the fucking street without really having to be under threat from social conditions. So uh, this is where we are. You know what I mean? And keep your eyes on where you want to go, not where you are now. You know, don't look down. You know, don't don't lose it one way or the other. You know, don't lose your shit. Just keep walking forward, and you'll make it. You know what I mean? But believing that believing in complex ideas that don't serve you, you can't afford that anymore. You know what I mean? You could afford that in the past, and maybe someday in the future you'll be able to afford that. But right now, you cannot afford that. This is where we are. You know what I mean? It seems a precarious time. It doesn't look good, but it doesn't look that bad either. You know, we're further along than you think. We're much, much further along than you think. Keep this in mind. You know, again, when I was a kid, stuff like this, tightrope walkers, people used to walk across Niagara Falls and stuff like that. It was a big stunt, of course. And these guys they practice this stuff obviously like 1,000 times, 10 feet off the ground, 100 feet off the ground, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, until they have it down, and they they pick their time and place. But extraordinary things have happened in the past and will happen in the future. You need to focus on that and not be distracted, not look for someone to rescue you, and you'll get there. So we're coming up. We're coming up on 1 hour and 23 minutes. I've like I said, this is a seriously. There's nothing left in here. There's almost nothing to fucking drink. How the fuck am I supposed to do a show without fucking alcohol? This is an outrage. This is wrong. This is wrong on so many levels. Actually, I know I got to work tomorrow. Anyway, I was doing RDLs and stuff early today. I did a ton. I lifted a lot, and I was doing single leg RDLs. So my hamstrings are going to be crying tomorrow, man. I'm going to be dying. But happy with the work I got done. Anyway, look at back up to 5 viewers. This is all 5 of Jonathan Poll's viewers minus the federal agents who normally show up. Anyway, guys, thank you for showing up, listening to me rant, watching my Boomer Tech crappy screenshots. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I can stream on Sunday next week, but it depends on work. Like I said, I got stuck coming back from Connecticut late last night, so that didn't happen. Thanks again. I'm gonna let you all out. I'm gonna play the crummy Greek disco music, and I'll talk to you guys next week.